Got 116 plays today. Played a lot of guys in a lot of different situations with a lot of different groups. You know, at the beginning of the practice, we worked a little bit of ones versus twos, and then twos versus the ones, and then some threes on threes. But in that period, we moved guys around to give them opportunities. So it gives us a chance to evaluate them. You know, and then some situational. Later on was a lot of ones versus ones. You know, I saw a lot of guys that were competing, you know, but we were inconsistent on both sides of the ball. We had too many undisciplined penalties. You know, we took care of the ball when we were running the football, but we had some turnovers when we put the ball in the air. We did create some explosive plays. We need to do a better job protecting the quarterback, and the quarterback's got to do a better job of getting the ball out of his hand. Thought our running backs ran pretty well today. I think we got to improve blocking on the perimeter with the wide receivers. We got to do a better job of converting third downs on the offensive side. And I think, you know, as we get into figuring out who the players are going to be at which spots, it gives us an opportunity to try to create some consistency, some rhythm. You know, and we're not there yet. You know, there's still lots of competition. We got to figure it out, and this will probably be ongoing for a lot of positions throughout fall camp and probably, you know, throughout the year. So we got a lot of young guys that really don't know how to do it. They're plenty capable. You know, we're giving them opportunities, and this was their first chance out there. You know, just like most of them do, as the scrimmage went, the better they got. So that's a good thing. That's positive. It means we didn't make a mistake when we recruited them. So it's there. We got to get them to be consistent, learn what's going on. So with that, I'll take some questions.
David Open.
At this point, what position groups do you feel kind of the most comfortable with?
Well, you know, I feel comfortable with a lot of our guys. You know, we got some guys that I feel like can play winning football. They have the talent. They have the want to. We got to teach them the kind of the know-how, how we want it done, you know. And then it's easy to do it, you know, a couple of plays. It's hard to do it all the time. We got to create competition, creating the right habits. If you do it over and over again on the practice field, it'll become a habit. So that's really what we're striving to do. So today was the first opportunity to actually play football. You know, we've been practicing and we've been doing a lot of drills, but you know, these guys here came here to play, and you know, you can tell the guys when you get out there, the ones that are excited about playing, it shows up.
Wes?
I know you said going into camp that y'all had a plan for Juwan, and you were going to stick to that plan. And have y'all still been on that same plan with Juwan, and how has his kind of camp gone through this point?
Yeah, you know, Juwan was doing really well. He didn't participate in the scrimmage today, and Chance didn't participate either. The last couple of days, Juwan, he dove for a ball and got a little bit hyperextended, so we've kept him out of the contact period, so he's running around. You know, Chance has actually been taking some live reps, but we didn't want to scrimmage him today. We wanted to kind of build into it, and based off the number count of snaps at practices, he wasn't there yet, so hopefully we'll get a chance for both of them to scrimmage for the first time next week.
Vince?
Coach, early in the spring you mentioned that you thought the team maybe was a little emotional up and down, that you could look away from them and then turn after the play and know what happened. Where are they at from that standpoint, do you think?
Well, I think that's a lot of teams, you know. I mean, it's kind of human nature. You know, I talked about it before. You know, I said it back here in the spring. I threw out the first pitch and I threw it up against the backstop. You know, my wife said I had my head down. I said that here. So I think that's kind of human nature. You know, when you have success, everybody gets kind of fired up and they walk around with their chest stuck out. But you know, we've got to get to where we're not, when things don't go our way, we can't be like a yo-yo. You know, we got to put the fire out. And that's one of the things that comes with consistency, creating the right habits. And our scrimmage was like that today, you know. So there was a lot of good with a lot of different guys, but really just kind of looking at the consistency. And I'll know more after I watch the practice to see, get a good idea.
Steve and Patrick?
Just in general, I was wondering, being a head coach for the first time, what's been the biggest adjustment for you, whether it be on the field and off the field? And is there any piece of advice you've gotten from anybody that's really kind of run true so far?
Well, probably the biggest thing is recruiting on all sides of the ball, being involved in the recruiting from the defensive, everybody on the defensive side, and maybe who's in your area that now actually deciding, hey, we want this guy as an offensive tackle or a tight end. So that's probably one of the big things, and then obviously doing the administrative part and this part.
Okay.
Jim, I know you probably want to go back and watch the film on the quarterback's orders. Did you found some of the good things and the bad things you saw today, and has there been any separation there for the first week or 2 weeks of camp?
No, I think through 9 practices, I have a good idea about the first 8 today. And I would have to watch the tape. I was really involved watching a lot of things. So from a quarterback standpoint, both of them have really done some good stuff. Talking about JG and Keller. Will McBride played today with our twos a lot. And Will's had a solid camp. JT Shrout, he may have the best arm out of all of them, but he's got to learn what's going on. So I think, he can spin it. He just got to figure it out. So if you look over all the practices, there's really nobody kind of separated themselves yet.
Jimmy, then Brent and Blake.
Jeremy, how much stock do you put in scrimmages versus the daily practice? Do you put a lot more stock in the scrimmage?
Well, I think every day, every practice, every opportunity says a lot about who you are. If you don't love this game, you're probably not going to be very good at it. It's too tough a game, so if you want to be great, you got to go to work every day. The best players that I've been around, they were the best practicers. I've been around very few guys that were great players that wasn't great practicers. So I think it goes hand in hand. I wouldn't say any day's more important. I would just say if I was a player from a standpoint getting to, instead of thudding guys or runner, getting able to play tackle football and a running back, from going to being able to run to allow them to tackle you to run over somebody, they're probably excited to do it.
Brent.
Coach, you said offensively, good possession ends with a kick. Did you end with enough kicks today in your scrimmage? Did you take care of the football? Then 2, what would you say about your tackling today, even though you haven't seen the film yet?
I'm sure that when you look at the tackling aspect, it's the first time you do it. To me, it's no different than being out here when you thud somebody. If you're going to tackle them, you want to create, use the same fundamentals, same habits, near leg, near shoulder, step on their toes, keep your eyes and chest up. As far as the kicking the ball, we created a lot of opportunities for our guys to kick, whether it was punts, field goals, or kickoffs. So we spent lots of time on special teams today.
Blake, then Jesse and Rob.
2 questions for you, Jeremy. One on Trey Smith. I think at the beginning of the camp you said looking at August 19th through 20th for full contact returns. That's still the timeline for him. And then 2, with quarterbacks, I believe on day 1 of camp you said it might take you 3 days to know who your starter is, might take you 3 months. Do you feel like you're getting close to being able to make a decision on that, or still a ways out?
No, I think with every position. I hope that our players, whether they play quarterback, they play D-tackle, they're the punter, the long snapper, I hope their number 1 goal is not to be the starter at Tennessee. I hope that's not their goal. That's not much of a goal in my opinion. I hope their goal is to be the best player at their position out there. So, if your goal is to be a starter, when you become a starter, so you're the big fish in this pond here, we're a long ways from naming starters at any positions. We got, that we're going to try to find as many guys as we have that can play. Hopefully we have a bunch of them that can play. It creates depth, creates competition. This is a long season. It's a physical conference. We want to be able to be a team that plays a physical brand of football, so you're going to need bodies to do that.
Rob, Jesse.
Trey Smith.
No, nothing's changed with Trey.
Jeremy, before you get to go back and watch the film, you know, on instant react, your assessment of the offensive line and just kind of their physicality, it sounds like you thought they blocked well enough in the run game, just their overall pass protection and physicality today.
Well, you know, when it comes to the run game or protection, you know, sometimes you could be running into wrong looks. You know, it only takes really one guy on the offense to make a mistake, and it can mess up the entire play. So you have to have guys that play together. I think our guys are learning to do that. We have guys that are playing multiple positions, which I think is important, so we can find our top 6 to 8 guys and create depth from there. You know, the guys have worked hard in practice. They just got to become more consistent, you know, and they need more time together. There's a lot of guys that just are here for the first time.
Coach, you indicated pass protection was a problem. Was that a positive for the pass rush? I mean, anybody stand out there, particularly maybe those guys on the edge?
You know, when it comes to pass rush, if you look at it on both sides of the ball, you know, sometimes they cover them really well in the back end. Maybe the wide receivers aren't getting open. Maybe the offensive line blocks great, but a running back doesn't. Maybe the quarterback's supposed to get the ball out. There's lots of things that go into it, so I wouldn't read too much into it.
Jimmy?
If I understood you right, you looked at different players at different positions today. What players did you look at different spots?
Well, everybody on the offensive line, everybody on the defensive line, linebackers. You know, you got to find ways. Defensive backs, guys play corner, they play safety, star, nickel. You know, linebackers, they have to be interchangeable. Defensive lineman, offensive lineman, you have to do that to create depth on your team. So that's something we've been doing the entire fall camp. I mean, everybody does that. So to do that, probably the negative about that is you don't play one position all the time, you know. So there's a learning curve, but it usually pays off in the long run.
Final question, Lewis?
Coach, I saw earlier today on social media the team went to church together. How did that decision come about? How important was that to you as a coach?
Well, I grew up going to church. I think a lot of these guys did. I know our staff did. You know, it's Sunday, right? It's fall camp. You know, just because we're in fall camp, I mean, that's kind of the habits that you create, and that's something that we wanted to do, and I think our players enjoyed it, had a really good time.
Thank you, Coach.